In just 7 minutes, the divine miracle prophesied for you will manifest at your doorstep. The quaint English village nestled in the rolling hills buzzed with anticipation. Emily, the beloved church secretary known for her steadfast faith, stood clutching her rosary. Her heart thumped loudly in her chest. She had been holding on to that prophetic word like an anchor, letting the promise of divine intervention guide her every thought. It felt as if time had stretched and warped since she first heard, in just 7 minutes. The air crackled with an ethereal energy, and hope hung like a delicate gossamer thread. As Emily leaned against the cool stone wall of the church, vivid memories crowded her mind. She recalled the flickering candles, the hushed prayers, and the palpable sense of unity that came when the villagers gathered to pray for her son. Each face in that room brimmed with compassion and echo of the community's unwavering devotion. Outside, timid sunlight peeked through gray clouds, illuminating droplets on emerald leaves. It was as if nature itself was holding its breath, waiting for the miracle. Then, as the clock began its countdown, a sudden commotion erupted from her home. Emily's heart sank. Her only son, Oliver, was at the brink of his battle against a rare illness. The doctors had looked helpless, leaving her questions unanswered and her spirit frayed. The whispers from the back of her mind grew louder. What if your faith is misplaced? Even her own family began to waver, casting furtive glances filled with doubt. But Emily drew a deep breath. The thick walls of the church resonated with the echoes of her prayers, carrying them upward toward heaven. She closed her eyes and felt the warmth of St. Jude, the patron saint of impossible causes, envelop her. Oh, St. Jude, I reach out to you in fervent prayer. I need your intercession now. As her whispered plea rose, the cries of villagers enveloped her, no longer just prayers but a chorus of belief. They stood united, candles flickering like stars amidst the darkness. In just 7 minutes, they repeated, filling the sacred space with fervor. Emily could feel that energy. Hope shimmered in the air, alive and potent. It was a frenzied rhythm mixing fear, love, and longing, pulling the community toward a singular focus, her miraculous breakthrough. Every second that ticked by pulsed with an urgency that was impossible to ignore. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With every tiny flicker of the candles casting shadows, Emily felt the weight of doubt begin to evaporate. Her chest tightened, and for an instant, her mind hung on the precipice of despair. An otherworldly warmth surged through her, filling every crevice of her heart. Could it be? Could the miracle really be right at their doorstep? As she opened her eyes, she noticed a shimmer and inexplicable light hovering just beyond the church door. The atmosphere thickened with expectancy. Emily's heart raced. Could this truly be the divine promise she had clung to? In that intense moment, the veil that separated doubt from belief was thin, and whispers filled the air. Is this it? Is the miracle here? The clock ticked down, and just when belief felt as if it could break free, would a transformation in faith blossom, or would it wither away in uncertainty? Emily's heart hung heavy with that question. The pulse of the community locked within that sacred space seemed to breathe together. What awaited them as the seconds slipped away? The villagers collectively held their breath, the weight of hope mingling with an unspoken fear. Each flickering candle seemed to pulse with life, sending shadows dancing across the stone walls. Emily's spirit soared, yet her heart quivered. What if this shimmer was merely an illusion, a fleeting dream in the face of despair? As she fought against the encroaching doubt, the shimmering light intensified, casting a warm glow through the church doorway. It beckoned her forward, a sweet promise of something miraculous. "Oh Lord, help me believe," she murmured, gripping her rosary tighter, feeling its cool beads grounding her in this moment of uncertainty. From the back, a voice trembled. Is this really happening? It was Margaret, an elderly woman with eyes filled with years of hope and loss. The question hung in the air like incense, and others whispered in agreement. Emily turned towards the altar, and her gaze wandered around the small assembly. Each face reflected a mixture of faith and anxious curiosity. The clock had nearly run out. The silence was thick, almost heavy enough to touch. Then, the moment they had all lingered for began to unfold. Emily felt an exhaustive warmth wrap around her soul, like the embrace of a loving parent, stretching from the very foundations of her faith. Suddenly, she could hear the soft rustle of angelic wings. Was it her imagination? Or was heaven itself brushing down upon their humble gathering? "Please, let it be true," she whispered, allowing the words to blend into the tender fabric of the moment. Then, without warning, the church door creaked open. A gasp escaped Emily's lips as she saw a figure silhouetted against the luminous backdrop. The glow illuminated a tall man, dressed in a simple, flowing robe, his presence radiating benevolence and authority. As he stepped inside, the entire congregation instinctively knelt, an overwhelming reverence washing over them. "Fear not," the figure proclaimed, his voice warm and melodious, wrapping around each heart like a sacred blanket. "For your prayers have been heard. The miracle you seek is at hand." Emily's breath caught in her throat. A divine presence, was this what she had longed for? A tangible embodiment of hope walking among them? The words resonated deep within her, sending a tremor of faith through the very core of her being. As the figure drew closer, Emily noticed the gentle smile on his face, a reflection of pure love and understanding. "Where is your son?" he asked, his eyes shining with compassion. Emily's heart pounded. Was he truly here to heal Oliver? "Please, he is at home. He needs you," she stammered, her voice choked with emotion. The congregation collectively breathed in the weight of possibility, their longing palpable. At that moment, the clock ticked to its final second, echoing through the sacred space. An electrifying energy surged. It felt as though the entire village, bound together, stood on the brink of transformation. Would they witness the miracle they had all fervently prayed for? The robed figure nodded slowly, as if acknowledging the profound faith within each heart. "Come, let us reveal the power of belief together." With a sweeping gesture, he moved toward the door, golden light spilling from beyond. "Follow me. The journey of your faith does not end here, it only begins anew." Emily's heart raced as she stepped forward, the villagers rising behind her, their spirits alight with excitement and fervor. What awaited them on the other side of that threshold? The mystery of a deeper faith awaited their discovery. Yet one question echoed loudly in her heart: could their collective belief unlock a miracle not just for Oliver, but for their entire community? Only time could tell. As the golden light enveloped them, Emily felt a surge of courage. She glanced back at her fellow villagers, their faces illuminated, each reflecting their hopes and yearning. They stood together, united by a bond of anticipation, hearts beating as one, a fragile but powerful tapestry of belief. The figure moved gracefully, gliding through the doorway with a gentle urgency. The villagers followed, a procession of fervent souls, ready to embrace whatever was destined to unfold. The chill of the evening air met their skin, yet within, there was a warmth so profound that it felt as if the heavens themselves had come alive. Outside, the world was transformed. The once familiar path shimmered with a radiant glow, the trees seemed to sway in time with a celestial rhythm, and the stars cast smiles upon the gathering below. Emily's breath quickened as she noticed the vibrant blossoms unfurling at the edges of the road, a riot of colors, as if nature itself rejoiced at their faith. "Stay close," the robed figure encouraged, his eyes twinkling like the constellations above. Throughout the journey, he turned to meet the gaze of each individual, his presence a balm for their anxious hearts. As they walked in silence, the air grew thick with the anticipation of what was to come. Faith was palpable, wrapping around them like a cloak, shielding them from doubt. Then, as they approached the village's edge, Emily stumbled upon something remarkable. There, standing tall in the middle of the once humble laneway, was a statue of Mary, cloaked in an ethereal light, surrounded by an array of flickering candles that seemed to bow and sway before her. The villagers halted, awestruck, their voices blending into a melody of whispered prayers. "Do you see?" the figure asked, gesturing towards the statue. "Hope is alive. The miracle begins in the heart of devotion. The light you see, the light within you, can illuminate even the darkest paths." Emily knelt before the statue, her heart swelling with emotion. In her vulnerable position, she felt not only her own longing for healing but also the voices of her neighbors, yearning for restoration. "O Mother, intercede for us," she cried, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Bring our prayers before the divine." The villagers echoed her plea, a chorus of voices rising into the night, filling the air with raw yearning and longing. Their cries were a bridge, connecting the seen and unseen, the earthly and the divine. Then, as if answered by an unseen force, the scene shifted. A soft wind stirred, rustling through the leaves, almost whispering encouragement. The robed figure stepped forward, raising arms in a gesture of blessing. "Believe," he urged softly, his voice resonating with authority. "For what you are asking is not beyond the reach of the Holy Spirit. Watch, and you will see your faith made manifest." Suddenly, a soft glow enveloped the scene, as if the heavens opened up to shower them with divine light. The candles flickered erratically, creating shadows that danced joyfully around them, reflecting the transformation happening deep within their hearts. Emily felt her spirit lift, a sense of peace washing over her as she reconnected with her faith. Could it be that in this moment, as they gathered in unity, they were on the cusp of receiving something truly extraordinary? With anticipation thrumming wildly within her, Emily understood, miracles weren't just for them, they were for everyone, waiting to be claimed. Her heart raced at the thought. Their collective belief was like a beacon shining into the night, but what awaited them all at the end of this miraculous journey? As the clock continued to tick, impending divine promise hung in the air, and a palpable energy began to coalesce around them, pushing the boundaries of human comprehension. What would the next revelation bring? Would it be the healing they sought, or something even greater? The mystery remained unspoken, but it pulsed in their hearts, begging for awakening. Emily felt as if time had slowed. The energy around them buzzed with holy potential, and she could sense it running through her veins. The villagers stood silently, eyes wide, reverently drinking in the atmosphere filled with the promise of an undeniable miracle. A rustling whisper of divine hope stirred among them, pushing away the last remnants of doubt. The robed figure continued to gaze at them, his voice wrapping around them like a gentle breeze. "Look within," he said, his words beckoning them to focus on their inner sanctuaries. Miracles flourish in a heart that is open to love, faith, and compassion. Do not only seek that which is outside. What do you desire in this moment? Look, and see the power waiting to be unleashed. A stirring began deep within Emily. It became clear she wasn't merely asking for healing, she was crying out for a renewed spirit, a rekindling of hope not just for herself but for all those struggling around her. She pressed her palms against her heart, feeling its rhythm synchronize with the flickering of the candles. What did this flame represent? Was it life, healing, joy? Around her, others began to murmur their desires, voices overlapping. Each prayer created a tapestry of faith woven into the night sky, echoing with intensity. Someone spoke of reconciliation, another of restoration, and yet another of newfound strength. Each request intertwined like a vine climbing toward the heavens. Then it happened. The air thickened, resonating with their heartfelt wishes. Suddenly, the candles burst to life, flames dancing higher, brighter, and more fervently, illuminating the statue of Mary in hues of gold and white. It was as if the heavens had poured out their love, bathing every soul in that radiant glow. Each flicker seemed to echo their deepest desires back to them, a whisper of light telling them they were seen, their cries were heard. A gentle wind swept through, carrying a melody soft, sweet, yet powerful, a celestial chorus of hope. The figure, surrounded by the growing light, raised his arms higher. Prepare. For Goddess love knows no bounds. In just moments, you will witness the divine manifestation of your prayers. A collective gasp escaped the villagers, hope mingled with expectation. Emily turned to her fellow villagers, eyes shining, hearts pounding in unison. Every eye sparkled with overwhelming faith, belief ignited like never before. Then, the statue seemed to shimmer, glowing brighter as if breathing. Maria's face wore an expression of profound love, and luminous energy streamed forth, enveloping the villagers in a divine embrace. Emily welcomed it, the warmth washing over her like a healing balm. She felt released from the burden she carried, like chains breaking, her spirit soaring. Hold your faith tightly, the figure urged as he gestured to the radiant surroundings. What was hidden is now being revealed. Miracles are not just seen, they are felt. What is about to unfold will change the course of your lives. At that moment, Emily's heart leaped at the thought of what awaited. She closed her eyes, seeing visions of healing, love, and transformation. Amidst her exhilaration, though, a doubt flickered, quick like a breath. What if the miracle didn't come as she expected? But could it be something even greater than she could imagine? The possibilities swirled in her mind like leaves in the wind. As her breath returned to normal, she felt peace settle deep within. The anticipation hung heavy in the air, and then, silence fell, waiting, lingering. Was this still a promise, or was the promise right now? As the moments ticked on, they felt time stretch as if the universe itself was holding its breath. What would be revealed within that sacred hush? Would it be their hearts' longings fulfilled, or would the night unveil something altogether unexpected? The answers were yet to come, drifting in the air like an ethereal whisper, waiting for the right moment to unfurl. Suddenly, a heartbeat echoed through the stillness. It pulsed so rhythmically, its sound mingling with the whispers of prayer. The villagers leaned in, drawn close to the growing energy that emanated from the statue, each heartbeat vibrating within their souls. Emily felt it like thunder reverberating in the depths of her being. As the statue's luminescence expanded, a figure appeared, a radiant light manifesting from the golden hues. It formed into a silhouette, enveloped in a mantle of joy, floating above the ground with grace. The villagers stared in collective awe, breaths hitching in their throats. Was this the answer they had longed for? Emily's palms tingled as warmth coursed through them, binding her to the scene unfolding. The figure began to speak, each word like a melodic prayer. Beloved children of God, you have gathered here in faith, in love. In the quiet of your hearts, you have poured out your needs to the divine. Lift your gaze, for miracles are upon you. In that moment, the air thickened with a scent reminiscent of blooming flowers, overpowering yet sweet. Each villager could feel it. It wasn't just their hopes that filled the atmosphere, but a tapestry of divine presence, everlasting and pure. Emily's heart swelled with gratitude. Let go of your fears, the figure urged, reaching out towards them, and accept that which you have prayed for. Each word wrapped around their minds, soothing every worry like a refreshing breeze. With each flicker of the vibrant flames, monstrous shadows that threatened to engulf them dissipated. Faces turned upward, eyes gleaming like stars. The vibrations of faith and love harmonized in a chorus of joy. Emily felt a surge of energy rush through her veins, flooding her thoughts with courage and conviction. Perhaps, just perhaps, the impossible was becoming possible. Hold this moment, the figure continued. It is not only the fulfillment of your desires but a deeper unveiling, a call to transformation. Visions danced in Emily's mind, swirling with colors she had never known. People in the village, faces she recognized, appeared bathed in light, their struggles dissipating like morning mist. She saw her mother, once burdened with sorrow, laughing heartily, her spirit enlightened. A voice within her resonated. Was this the miracle? Or was it a sign of something larger, something more profound than she ever dared to hope? Confusion mingled with excitement, her heart racing as the figure pointed across the gathering. Your hearts, once heavy, are now capable of carrying new life, the figure declared, the warmth radiating over the villagers. You will be the bearers of light to each other, walking embodiments of grace, healing, and miracle. The villagers murmured in wonder. Restorations, forgiveness, renewed hope, the phrases filled the air, spiraling upward like offerings to the heavens. They embraced the truth that their prayers could ignite transformation, spreading faith like wildfire. Each miracle held the possibility of many more. But what would come next? Would they wield this newfound power wisely? As the flame flickered one last time, the figure drew back, fading into the brilliance of the light that lingered. In the awakening of miracles, remember, the greater miracle is the journey within. Silence enveloped them once more. With a sense of waiting and wonder, Emily stood with her neighbors, hearts beating as one. They had tasted hope, caught a glimpse of a divine promise, but the mystery unfolded before them. What was the true essence of the miracles? What journey awaited them in the days to come? That's where the story unfolded further. The villagers remained gathered under the vast expanse of the night sky, awash with stars twinkling like divine eyes watching over them. Emily felt a hushed excitement brush against her skin, weaving through the stillness. Conversations buzzed softly, reverent reminders of renewal and the promise of transformation. Hope hung in the air, dense and rich. "Did you see her face?" someone whispered, eyes glistening with wonder. Eyes turned towards Emily, seeking affirmation, as they spoke of visions and moments of clarity ignited by the presence above. "I did," Emily added, her voice thick with emotion. It was a glimpse of something beautiful. Thoughts drifted back to the figure, glowing and graceful. The words she spoke felt like warm honey enveloping their souls, a sweetness that lingered long after the figure disappeared. "Do you think we can really become the bearers of light?" a young man asked, doubt and hope mingling in his expression. The villagers paused, thoughts silhouette against the shimmering background. Emily stepped forward, her heartbeat matching the rhythm of the divine pulse they had felt together. "If we carry our hearts open, if we share what we've received, we can shine." A surge of courage surged through her. Faith, just like light, grows when shared. As the murmurs of agreement spread, she sensed a unity, a collective heartbeat that once resonated with fear, now pulsed with purpose. It was exhilarating. Each face turned towards one another, illuminating unspoken pledges to nurture and cultivate the miracles blooming within them. "Let us not forget what we have heard tonight," an elder woman implored, her voice cracking with emotion. "This awakening is not for one, but for all. We must remember to lift one another up in prayer and action." Emily nodded, encouragement bubbling within her. "We are called to be relentless in love, to inspire hope among each other. Miracles can happen everywhere if we pour this light into our community." They formed a circle, hands clasped together, a living link binding their hearts. Emily's own heart raced, not out of fear, but anticipation. They prayed, each voice rising like wind-caught leaves, weaving individual requests into a unified chorus. The spirit of the moment, vibrant and electric, surged among them, their faith amplifying with every amen. Suddenly, the fragrance of blooming flowers enveloped them again, as though the air had thickened with a divine promise. The warmth returned, draping over them like a gentle hug. In that instant, Emily understood every prayer aligned them to the divine purpose slumbering within their souls. But just when their hearts felt full, shadows stirred once more. Overhead, clouds began to gather, dark and ominous, casting an unsettling shroud across the moonlight. A chill crept through the air, unsettling whispers brushing their minds. "What if this light doesn't last?" Emily squeezed her neighbor's hand, her voice steady. "Doubt is natural. But look around us. We are not alone." She motioned to the vibrant energy binding them. "What good can we do?" whispered another villager, apprehension fluttering under the weight of their sudden fears. In unison, a wave of resolve blanketed the circle. "Let us break bread together. Let us share meals and stories. Let us uplift each other in kindness." Together, they vowed to open their homes and hearts, fostering faith. As they released their hands, the clouds parted just enough for moonlight to stream in, illuminating their path forward. What lay ahead? Emily pondered silently, a renewed spark glowing within her. What challenges will test our faith once again? As the night deepened, a flicker of doubt lingered, mixing with the vibrant pulse of their collective hope. Would they rise to honor their lifelong commitment to nurturing miracles? Would their journey reveal the true essence of the light they had seen? Their hearts echoed these questions, an unbroken rhythm of faith and uncertainty as the village embraced the darkness, ready to seek answers in the dawn. The dawn broke softly, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold, as though the heavens themselves rejoiced in the promise of a new day. Emily stood at the edge of the village, breathless at the sight unfolding above. Morning light spilled across the landscape, unearthing shadows and filling every crevice with warmth. Each villager began to stir, their sleep mingled with the remnants of last night's fervent hope. The fragrance of fresh bread wafted through the air, inviting smiles and soft laughter. As they gathered for the morning meal, Emily marveled at the sense of community that enveloped them. Sitting together under the twin action of light and laughter, they broke bread, each piece a symbol of their shared faith and commitment. Conversations flowed like the river nearby, deep and rich, filled with stories of dreams and visions that had manifested in their hearts. "I felt a warmth last night," a woman said, her eyes sparkling like the sun reflecting off water. It wrapped around me, a reminder that we are not alone. Others nodded in agreement, as Emily's heart swelled. We are lighting a path for each other, just as we were lit last night, she replied, voice strong and clear. Today, we take that light into the world beyond our village. With every shared bite, they exchanged not only food but also promises. They would visit the sick, the lonely, and those who had yet to feel the divine light in their lives. Each act of kindness would be a flicker of glow in the surrounding darkness, encouragement swimming in their spirits. But amidst the excitement, a sliver of doubt crept in again. Emily could feel it, a hushed whisper beneath the morning chatter. What if their efforts were in vain? What if the divine promise had not been meant for them after all? The elder's eyes wise with experience sensed the rising unease. Faith isn't about assurances of what is to come, one spoke gently, her voice a balm. It's about embracing this moment, stepping into what has been given to us now. With those words, a weight lifted. Emily glanced around, her heart thrumming with relief. They were about to become harbingers of a brighter reality, guided by the spirit that had caressed them through the night. The morning passed, laughter filling the air, hands helping where they could, and hearts soaring with possibility. Yet when the sun reached its apex, a stillness fell over the lunch gathering. A shadow, dark and foreboding, passed overhead, cutting through their joy with an undeniable chill. Emily's gaze darted up, and there, hovering above, was a storm cloud thick and roiling. It loomed like a reminder of their fears, pressing heavily upon their newly forged resolve. The villagers exchanged anxious looks, their laughter fading, replaced by the weight of uncertainty. Is our light strong enough? Someone finally whispered. Will it hold against the darkness? Remember, Emily began, words steady, darkness is merely the absence of light. Our unity is our strength, and like stars in the night, we can push the clouds away with our faith. Together, they held hands once more, a renewed circle around the table, breathing in the warmth of their shared purpose. As they prayed, Emily sensed a distinct shift. The air thickened, and then, like a gentle wave, something shimmering began to fill the space between them. In that vibrant silence, they could almost hear it, the echo of divine joy, ready to burst forth, but deep within, questions loomed once more. Would the glow they shared outweigh the encroaching darkness, or were they destined to face the storm without the light they yearned to carry? As the clouds churned ominously above, the promise of a miracle felt closer than ever, yet so precarious too. What would manifest at their doorstep would prove to shape their very essence. Would they be ready to embrace it? The shimmering light began to swirl around them, igniting their hearts with fervor. Wisps of golden hope danced in the air, mingling with the fragrance of freshly baked bread, creating a tapestry of joy that enveloped the table. As the villagers held hands tightly, Emily felt the pulse of unity thrumming through the circle. Each heartbeat resonated with faith. We have been blessed, she whispered, her heart buoyed by belief. There was power in their togetherness, a divine promise in every clasped hand. Little by little, the shadows above seemed to retreat. The dark clouds stirred uneasily, as if sensing the sacred current flowing among the villagers. Whispers of anxiety flickered through the group, but Emily took a deep breath, drawing upon the light within her. Let us lift our voices, she urged, flowing with the moment's energy. They began to sing a melody rising like smoke from a fire, warm and inviting. Each note wrapped around them, binding their spirits together, transforming fear into faith. In that vibrant chorus, the storm seemed to waver, flickering like a candle caught in a gust of wind. Suddenly, a louder thunder cracked through the sky, a sound neither hostile nor grim but a call to arms. It was a reminder of the power they held as a community. Emily turned to see elders raising their arms wide, their expressions radiant, welcoming the storm rather than yielding to it. Every storm carries within it the seeds of growth, one elder proclaimed. The villagers' voices rose higher, drowning out any lingering doubts. With every drop of rain, we shall be nourished. With every flash of lightning, we are illuminated. Emily felt her spirit lift. She understood now the storm was not their enemy but their teacher. Just as the sun needs to retreat for the rain to come, so too do we embrace this moment, she declared, eyes shining with fervor. As they sang louder, the storm responded. Rain began to fall, gentle at first, like the lightest kiss on their skin. But soon, it grew stronger, a celestial pour that drummed against the earth, cleansing their fears. They looked at each other with joyful disbelief. Tears of gratitude streamed down Emily's cheeks as she lifted her face to the sky, mouth agape in wonder. "Look at the blessing!" she cried, her voice mingling with the torrent. The villagers laughed, their spirits soaring amongst the droplets. The storm carried whispers of longing, urging them to trust. They were no longer alone, no longer afraid. The clouds began to part, beams of sunlight breaking through like divine streams, creating a halo around their gathering. Emily's heart swelled. "This is just the beginning," she shouted over the now raging winds. "Together we will be instruments of light. Let us carry this energy with us as we step into the world outside this village." With renewed resolve, the villagers exchanged determined glances, planning their next steps with excited anticipation. Each person felt the thrill of possibility, their spirits ignited like flames fanned by the wind. But even amidst their bustling spirits, Emily sensed a stirring deep within, unanswered questions lingering on the periphery. What awaited them beyond their village walls? Would this divine light guide them through the shadows they would encounter? As they prepared to set out, an unexpected silence wrapped around the group. The air felt electric, charged with potential. The storm may have passed, but a new chapter was about to unfold. With hearts alight, they took a deep breath, readying themselves to step into the world anew. And as they took their first steps, the echo of the storm still rumbled softly behind them, leaving one final question hovering in the air: what miracles would they find waiting for them on the other side of fear? The air was thick with hope as Emily looked around at her fellow villagers, their faces illuminated with determination and wonder. Each step they took resonated with the promise of the journey ahead. The laughter from the storm's release hung in the air, a reminder that they had embraced chaos and emerged together anew. "Where do we go now?" a young boyish voice echoed, innocence etched across his curious face. Emily bent down to meet his gaze, her heart swelling with the warmth of purpose. "We seek the light that shines beyond our walls," she answered, her voice steady, "the light that calls us to love and serve." As they ventured forth, the village outskirts greeted them with the scent of damp earth. The rain had transformed their familiar world into a masterpiece, a gift swathed in glistening droplets. The landscape sparkled under the emerging sun, a canvas of vivid colors inviting them to explore. The little ones scampered forward, laughter spilling from their lips as they leaped through puddles, their joy infectious. Emily could feel the weight of doubt lift, replaced by an invigorating air of faith. Around her, the adults walked with a newfound grace, shoulders back, eyes bright. They were no longer villagers confined by boundaries. They were pioneers of hope, ready to embrace the unknown. But with each step, the unanswered questions from moments before began to echo louder in her heart. What awaited them at the edge of their village? Would the storms of life beyond be as resolute as the ones they had faced, or would they find paths paved with companionship and grace? A mist hung over the far horizon, ethereal and mysterious. Emily took a deep breath, rallying her thoughts. Each horizon we cross brings us closer to our purpose, does it not? She spoke aloud, emboldened by the spirit of the moment. The villagers nodded, their hearts thumping in rhythm with her words. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught their attention. A figure emerged from the mist, cloaked in soft hues of white and gold. The villagers fell silent, awe rippling through their ranks. As the figure approached, Emily felt a gentle warmth spread throughout her being. "Fear not, for I am here to guide you," the figure spoke, the voice melodic and soothing. Emily's pulse quickened as recognition swept over her. This was not just any figure, it felt like a whisper from the divine, leading them toward uncharted paths. "Who are you? What do you want from us?" she stammered, the weight of her questions pressing against her chest. "I seek hearts that are unafraid to love and to learn," the figure replied, eyes sparkling like morning dew. "There are miracles poised to unfold if you will dare to believe. The clouds you see are only a shadow of what lies ahead." Tears pooled in Emily's eyes again, this time woven with hope and the thrill of the unknown. Her spirit ignited. "We will believe, lead us." The villagers stepped closer, unified in their purpose. They were not alone, and the divine presence among them reassured them that they were part of a greater story. With a wave of the figure's hand, vivid colors swirled around them, illuminating their path with shimmering light. It was ethereal yet grounding, filling them with a sense of awe as they began to walk forward, crossing the threshold of their familiar world into the vast unknown. What does it mean to love fully? Emily pondered as the figure turned, beckoning them gently onward. As they proceeded, the air buzzed with unspoken possibilities. As they took another step, the ground beneath them trembled softly, urging them forward. In that vibrant moment, the question lingered: what miracles awaited them on this new journey filled with love and possibilities? Would they embrace the light within, or falter upon encountering shadows yet unknown? As they stepped beyond the threshold of their village, the figure turned to Emily and the villagers, a knowing smile gracing their lips. The journey of faith is not a simple path, they whispered, each word dripping with a warmth that set their hearts aflame, but it is filled with lessons waiting to be uncovered. This is where your true spirit will shine. The atmosphere shimmered with anticipation as they followed the radiant figure deeper into the mist. The world around them began to reveal its beauty. Vibrant blooms erupted from the earth, colors dancing in the sunlight like fragments of joy. Butterflies flitted about, celebrating their arrival, whispering secrets of new beginnings. Emily felt a surge of gratitude for every moment leading to this, a chain of faith forged through pain, hope, and community intertwined. We have come so far already, she breathed, looking at her companions, and still, we seek more. Always seek, the figure replied, energizing the villagers with a flick of their wrist, sending ripples of light dancing through the air. You are called to witness the miracles of love, compassion, and healing stretching far beyond the edges of what you know. While hearts fluttered, a shadow of uncertainty settled among them. What if we fail? A young villager questioned, his voice trembling with doubt. What if our light isn't strong enough? Every act of love is a candle against the darkness, the figure replied, their eyes sparkling like distant stars. It is not the size of the light that matters, but the willingness to shine. Trust that even the smallest flicker can ignite change. The gathering buzzed with renewed energy. Their fear dimmed like distant thunder. Emily, feeling emboldened, stepped forward. Then we will shine brighter. We will carry light into every heart and home, transforming shadows into warmth. With rallying cries of agreement, they entered the next phase of their journey, each step echoing with purpose. They encountered those in need: a widower whose sadness had cast a pall over his home, a mother battling despair for her ill child, and elders whose memories felt like a burden. Every gesture of kindness flared their spirits, illuminating forgotten corners with love. As they offered themselves freely, laughter erupted, and warmth returned. The villagers found strength in shared grief, their hearts opening wide, just like the heavens above. From every hand extended, miracles blossomed: healing, laughter, and friendship forged in the fires of compassion. Yet, the skies shifted as dark clouds began to gather. Doubt threatened to creep in once again. What will happen when the storms return? A voice echoed, the weight of fear heavy in the air. Emily lifted her chin defiantly. We will not let fear overshadow our purpose. We are prepared now, we have witnessed miracles. Together, we are invincible. As if in response to her declaration, a brilliant flash of lightning illuminated the sky, illuminating each face in golden brilliance. The villagers stood shoulder to shoulder, hearts pounding in unison as they braved the impending storm. They clasped hands tighter, drawing strength from one another, forming an unbreakable bond against the gathering darkness. The storm broke, rain pouring down aggressively, but they remained united, their faith creating a barrier against the onslaught. Laughter and resilience filled the air. Look! One villager shouted against the roar of the rain. The rainbow already emerges, signaling the promise ahead. It was a reminder of hope woven in their shared struggles. The realization struck Emily deeply: miracles weren't confined to singular moments, they were the collective essence of their journey. Faith soared amidst the droplets, becoming a living tapestry, vibrant with resilience. Then, they saw it: an ethereal moment of clarity resurfaced from the depths of the storm. As the rain brightened the colors around them, the energy shifted. It was like scales fell from their eyes at once, the beauty of humanity unveiled, every face reflecting the light they had nurtured. As the last drops fell, the villagers emerged, soaked but joyful. They stood in a circle, hearts woven together, surrounding a tree that stood strong and unyielding, its branches twisting toward the sky, a testament to their collective journey. At that moment, the robed figure returned, drawing closer. You have learned the essence of faith, that trials will come, but so too will miracles forge anew. Emily smiled widely, the joy radiating from every part of her being. We are forged in love, shaped by grace, and emboldened by the bonds we've created. The figure nodded appreciatively. And your journey only begins. Remember, every act of kindness will yield more light. Go forth, and may your hearts be filled with the brilliance of this truth. Together, the villagers turned as one, stepping boldly into the light, ready to embrace every challenge, each miracle, and the path ahead bursting with divine promises. Standing there, with her neighbors at her side and arms lifted in prayer, Emily exhaled deeply, knowing, without doubt, that they were destined to become agents of transformation, illuminating lives not just within their village, but spreading ripples that extended far beyond. Moments like this are rare, but their hearts ignited with a spark that could never be snuffed out. As they walked forward into a vibrant tapestry of the unknown, they carried with them the unshakable truth: they were part of something greater, and together, there was nothing they could not overcome. Feel that urgency in your spirit? You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like immediately to feed the algorithm, it makes a huge difference. Comment below your reactions, your testimonies. How did this story speak to your heart? And don't wait even one more second, share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. Stand with us in this journey of faith.